Sometimes I lay under the moon, I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon. I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the water stay raging. And in this maze you can lose your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you, no way. So no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more, be no more war, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. One day this all will change, treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free, I'm proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like why-yo, oh, why-yo, oh. So all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, oh, one day, one day, one day, oh, 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 oh. I'm a, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 oh. All right, family, Grand Rising. We're just going to sit through one more song, 5 minutes, and allow a few more people to jump onto the live stream. We are streaming on both Facebook and YouTube, and we'll be uploading to some various other platforms as well later. Again, I want to encourage y'all to just pull up a chair. We're going to sit and talk about a few of the things that are going on right now with these protests that are sparking across the nation and across the world. Satanic ritual and the involvement between the two. What's going on with this pandemic and crisis that is being portrayed in the media, that many people have woken up to, is being just glamorized, glorified, and falsified all the way across the board. And there's a lot of infighting as to why this is happening. But again, family, we're going to allow, we always sit for just a few minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, to allow enough people to jump onto the live stream before we get going. And this is very pertinent news. And I want to encourage y'all to be level-headed. Don't be caught up in the emotions, and be aware of every emotion and thought that comes through your mind today moving forward. We should have already been doing that. But from today moving forward, family, today is a very important day in the occult world. And we're going to touch on that today. And so just enjoy this other song by Satsang, and allow some people to jump on. When I said I feel the heat and it's coming on strong, I can't fall asleep, cause I can hear the song. Well, I sit over the cliff where the mantra churns. When I hear the sound, I know it's my turn. Now all of the pain that the oh must feel, well, I feel it in my body like I missed a meal. Well, I miss my chances to put it down. The more that they burn, more smoke come out. Well, I give up giving and I'm bathing the pain with a life from the heat to my feet again. Lessons from the blessings that are all up in costume, dressed up like the things that I don't want to consume. But if it is the truth, then go and let it rain down. Now if it is the will of the Spirit, then let it make the same sound. With the roots of the same tree, all shed the same leaves, and soon those leaves will fall. And then it's all for one and one for all. We got to be united in this fight against tyranny, but we got to do it right. And I'm not sure that these protests are really the right way to get things moving ahead. The pavement just to get where I'm going. I said the battle increases, but I swear my stride is growing. I've been not tip top, been making a list. Now I've been looking high and low for where the greatness exists. But I take a breath and call my home back. All inside my dome pack. Release the cease in prison, hence my soul was free to roam. Stack knowledge with experience, play out every cycle. When I shed my skin again within the cracks, I'll never try for battle. That's why you see me praying daily. Babylon don't face me. This got a few people watching. Over it, goodbye. When I'm going to my home, I'm never alone. Said I am the wind, this it is blow. Then I'll atone for the things I've done but don't condone. So we curse the throne, weathered my time and carved from stone. Yeah, but if it is the truth, then go and let it rain down. Rain down. Now if it is the will of the Spirit, yeah, then let it make the same sound. With the roots of the same tree, all shed the same leaves, and soon those leaves will fall. And then it's all for one and one for all.
lot of craziness going on, and today is no different. It's a beautiful day. Don't need to be caught up in fear. The illusion is crumbling.
When the struggle comes around, well, I shed a beam of light into the tunnel with a sound. Try not to overthink the way these human things occur, cause I am only here for just a flash, and I am sure did all the things did help me. Spirit never fail me. Wash me clean with water, let the heat from it impale me. Take me out and in and far and wide. I try my best to do it better next time. Well, I'm learning as it's burning. Every single mark I'm earning for the yearning. I'm returning to the lines that are blurring between what is here and what is there. But does it really matter? And say, do I really care? Hey, but if it is the truth, then go and let it rain down. Rain down. Now if it is the will of the Spirit, then let it make the same sound. With the roots of the same tree, all shed the same leaves, and soon those leaves will fall. And then it's all for one, one for all.
It's all for one and one for all. All right, family. Again, Grand Rising. I hope y'all are having a blessed day. No, an abundant day. Affirm an abundant day. We don't want anything to be less in our lives. And so, family, I just want to encourage you to breathe, 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 because there's a lot going on in our world. And we're going to touch on some of that today. We know that we are in this world, but not of it. And we still have to remain grounded. We still have to be aware. We still have to know what's going on here and how it affects us spiritually and emotionally. And a lot of times we can tend to let our eyes get fixed on these things that are going on around us, on the play, on the theatrics, right? The world is a stage and everybody has their part to play. And we get caught up in watching these characters just like we do on a big screen, on the tell a lie to your vision. And it can be distracting, family. It can be really distracting, and it can take you spiritually and mentally away from what the Creator wants you to be in this moment. And it is just that, to just be. I don't think that the Creator would need to go out and fight for illusory rights, right? We all have there's a universal law that we all live under. And we have to be aware that when we're getting drawn into something in the physical here, like a protest, we have to really step back and observe our emotions and really be discerning of our thoughts, take every thought captive, and only hold on to that what's true and reject the rest, man, because I don't know if y'all follow me on Facebook. And even some of the videos I've posted, I do want people to be aware. I don't want to get caught up in any fear porn, family. I don't. I'm not propagating the lie, and I'm not going to be a tool used to deceive people. And so there's a lot of things going on, that a lot of truth and a lot of the things that are being said regarding 5G. And its link with this pandemic. And I think that today is the day that we're going to see some of that starting, the way that psychosis can be set in with these low frequency weapons. And for anybody who's doubting any of that, I can throw some stuff up on the screen, share about the weaponization of the electromagnetic spectrum. And so, this is from a legit source that we can cite, Forbes magazine. And so I'll just throw that up real quick. Let me throw this screen share on, and I'll toss that up. And so we know that this is from April 12th of 2019. Non-ionizing and ionizing fields of radiation. blow that up. And we know that the electromagnetic spectrum has been weaponized. We've heard a lot of people call it conspiracy theory, but we've heard about silent weapons for quiet wars, or quiet weapons for silent wars. And the way that millimeter waves and the ELF waves, the various different electromagnetic waves can be used against us in ways that are just astounding. And we are electrical beings. That's one thing that nobody can deny, is that I'm having an issue with my thing freezing up, family. And so it's no coincidence here that it's based in Israel. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. Anyway, here, we'll play this video real quick. Actually, I want to jump back to the, let me jump back over here. I want to jump back to the protest real quick, because I don't want to get ahead of myself, family, because we're going to talk about the significance of this date. And so we see all over. I mean, if you haven't heard yet, it's because you're stuck in the mainstream media and you don't listen to anything. I mean, people just criticize social media, right? Criticize YouTube, even though the same people that criticize YouTube, these pastors, these leaders, these conservative community leaders, so to speak, criticize YouTube, but they'll use YouTube, right? They'll discredit anybody that uses YouTube, and even say how many quacks are on YouTube, right? But then they'll turn around and use the same platform. And I made that point to one brother. There's many more dangerous religious fanatics that are given, I mean, massive amounts of money and have influence over massive groups of people, it's much more dangerous for them to have that platform. And so if you are shunned away from watching any alternative news, I'd encourage you, dive in, find a couple of reliable sources that you can research, that you can I always encourage people, always. I throw up as much information as I can. Sit tight with me, family. I'm trying to get this feed up on my other devices. That way I can monitor the chat, because when I'm screen sharing, I can't see anything in the chat. And so, but yeah, I'd encourage you to find somebody who is not drawing you onto themselves. There's a lot of people out there, even people that I had watched for a little while, because they have great information. This is how the enemy gets you. Great information, a lot of truth in there, but then you'll notice they'll start trying to draw you onto themselves. You'll notice an agenda behind the things they say and the ways that they speak. They give you small bits of information at a time. This is why I have 3-4 hour lives, because I try to get as much info up as I can, try and get links up. I'm not the greatest at going back and getting links up after a show, but the links are there. I point you guys to the right areas, give you guys the right little gems to start researching. And so I encourage you guys, research, and don't look onto me as some kind of a savior, but just understand, family, that you have the power within you. And it's not this disempowered mindset I'm not saying don't protest, Lisa Turtle, fashion expert. What I'm saying is be wise about what you're doing. Okay, if we're gathering to protest, You have to understand that there are ways that people can be triggered. I don't care how strong of a mindset you think you have. There's ways that people can be triggered. Let me come back here real quick because I want to make this clear. I want to make this extremely clear. All right, Lisa, turtle fashion expert. If you think that you're strong enough that your mind can deflect a lot of these electromagnetic weapons, then I sure hope that you've been doing the inside work that it takes to be able to do that and to be able to overcome that which they've been perfecting for decades. And so if you're just now coming into a spiritual awareness of the fact that you have this energy, this toroidal field, this magnetic electromagnetic energy that powers you, you know, the amount of electricity that the human body carries, you know, that spontaneous human combustion is actually a thing. And it's not just because of the chemicals in our body, but which, by the way, I don't know what kind of a diet you have, but people, if you've been eating the diet that has been propagated throughout this world and mainly in this country, heavily in this country, with all of the chemicals and all of the preservatives and all of the bullshit GMOs, and then your levels, your chemical levels are probably so imbalanced that one of these weapons will trigger you like that and send you into a rage where you're attacking somebody, or drop you into a puddle of human flesh like that, to where you cannot move a muscle. In fact, you won't even be able to breathe if they don't want you to. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm bringing about an awareness of the dangers that this can spark, because this will spark some kind of a false flag, like a domestic terrorist, or somebody getting wild and going too far at one of these protests and causing a mob mentality, right? Which again is heavily influenced by electromagnetic weapons, low frequency weapons, directed energy weapons. Or it can spark, hey, this is our opportunity to use these weapons to quietly disperse these crowds. And let me tell you another thing. If you're chemically out of balance and they use these weapons on you, you will be stuck in that mindset. Your brain will be fried. Your third eye, your mind's eye will be cooked, sister. And so, no, I'm not some beta male that's saying not to protest. I'm saying that you need to be wise and that people are going to get what their heart projects. And so if you're going out there with a heart of rage and anger and you get hit with one of these weapons, that's where you may be stuck for the rest of this ride. And so if you want to take the wisdom and run with it, I encourage you to do so. If you want to start throwing accusations about beta male and shit like that, I'm not the one, sister. You can kick rocks and get the hell off my channel, because I'm not a beta male. And I'm not telling anybody not to protest. I'm telling you that you're going to get where your mind and your heart is set. And I know where my mind and heart is set. I'm outraged about this shit that's going on as well. But you know what? That almighty dollar is what's driving people to do this, right? That lack of faith that you can depend on your brother or your sister because you see the idiots going out there and raging over toilet paper, which in gematria is the same equation as mind control. And so watch before you come on my station or my channel starting to throw shit like that around, because I can hit a block button as well. If you're here for wisdom, then get the wisdom. If not, bye-bye. Find your shit somewhere else, because I don't play that game. All right. I'm not some bitch ass cuck on one of these channels that takes everybody's shit and talks and lets people talk shit, because I'm here stepping out on the line. I'm here putting my ass on the line. I do hours and hours and hours of research to bring this information to the people that want to hear it. And so if you want to hear it, I welcome you to be here and hear it. If you don't want to hear it, if you don't want to hear truth, if you disdain truth and you just want to get stuck in some kind of a mindset that, oh, this guy's some kind of a beta male, you know what? Fuck you. Out of here. See ya. Sorry, family. That's getting caught up in those emotions. That's letting the trolls trigger you, right? Because that's the whole aim. That's what this is all about right now, is to try and get people to trigger you. It is, bro. Randy, man, yesterday I was all about going down there, brother. I was all about going down and speaking my mind. But you know what? I got to be a passerby, man. I had some dreams last night, and I know that the significance of these dates cosmologically, man, if you're going down and being a part of these protests, just have your mind right and don't get caught up in the mob mentality. Don't get caught up in the middle of shit, because it's very easily to be triggered into doing something that you would normally not do, especially with where things are at right now. In fact, this is all according to plan. If you didn't watch my last live, I talk about this right here. Here, I'll just throw it up real quick. We're not going to go into detail over it, but I want y'all to see this. And we talked about this. Lockstep. And it's various scenarios. This paper was put out. This paper, let me get all the way up here to the top. And you can download this PDF. This PDF is called Scenarios for the Future of Technology and International Development. And guess who put it out? Yep, you guessed it. I'm not even going to say the name. I'll just zoom in on it. Yeah. And so, again, this, let me see if I can just scroll up. My computer's lagging, family. Please forgive me. Well, that's just it, Randy. A lot of people don't even believe that these weapons exist. Thank you, Regina. I really appreciate that. I do my best to just, again, put as much information in these long videos as I can, because it's important information. It's a lot of people don't understand the depth that these things go, and it's not conspiracy theory. It's actually conspiracy against humanity, and it goes a lot deeper and gets a lot crazier than anybody would even be willing to allow their mind to accept. And so, family, I love y'all. Thank you for that comment, baby. Observe and learn. So important.
Responding to what is happening.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you, because I'm not sure what is happening. I'm not really following the chat. I'm trying to.
That's a person.
Oh.
What's happening?
Oh, Shane. Yeah, I love Shane.
Well, I was responding to Shane.
Oh, well, yeah. I've got to observe and learn, because I just got trolled and I let that spark some emotion in me. But I get emotional, family, because I love y'all. And it doesn't matter if I met you in person or not. I know that we're connected, and so I love y'all, and that's why I do what I do. But you know, we do got to look further into shit like this that people aren't willing to even consider as truth. And when you look down, look at this. Lockstep. A world of tighter top-down government control and more authoritarian leadership with limited innovation and growing citizen pushback. And so, you know, this stuff it's not make-believe, family. It's not something that's to be taken lightly. I'd encourage you to do as much research as you can regarding these type of weapons and how it's being used against all of humanity, man. I mean, if you think you're free of it, you hear these wild stories about targeted individuals. And man, I just want to give a real quick shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Lisa, Turtle Fashion Expert, I appreciate your opinion. I appreciate your input. I don't like being called a beta. I apologize for that show of emotion. That Way of the Grave, What is Happening, Shane, my brother. Let's see who else is in here. Paul Bunyan, Ann Foster, Mrs. Tribal 444, my wifey, Stephanie. And then on YouTube, we got quite a few people on YouTube or on Facebook as well. Randy, Regina, Mark. Love you, Mark. Michael jumped in. I don't know if he's still watching, but I do appreciate you giving your ear, family. And I just want to encourage you to just be aware. Polis Josh. All right. So that's good to know, because I just use people's tags in the chat, because I don't necessarily know everybody's names. So thank you for that, Josh. I do appreciate all your input and all of your time as well, family, that you would give an ear to what's going on. And so, I don't know that it's even necessary to continue to go through these articles. I was just going to go through the various articles. I mean, people are gathering in California. People are gathering all over Idaho, Michigan. People are gathering all over the world, actually. And so what got me is when I started hearing about these protests, I was like, well, what about Colorado? When Colorado? I even was posting on Facebook, when Colorado? What? The whole world's speaking up. When are we going to speak up and stop letting Polis push everybody around? And then I just started thinking, man, I was really considering a lot of things in prayer. And I saw this, right? It's almost like you get what you ask for, right? I was really praying and hoping that things would manifest this way in Colorado, that people would stand up, speak up, and not take this shit anymore. And really, in the midst of things, I was thinking of all of the variables that come into play and how people could actually, this could cause a lot of damage, and if it's not done right in a very specific way, then it can really trigger a lot of things. My brother Shane was saying, I made a very good point on one of my posts on Facebook that this could trigger, this could push officials and give them the green light to give an executive order for medical martial law. And so we see that they're pushing this pandemic, and as much as proof is out there that this is all being falsified, that this is all just a lot of the sickness that's going on is people that have underlying issues, that it's being admitted in the news, and so this is all meant to fire people up, right? To get you in that. Why do you think that they're showing it in the mainstream media? They keep flip-flopping, and you see all of these world leaders, including our own president, pushing the WHO's agenda, the CDC's agenda. Fauci and Birx have been exposed as frauds for who knows, months now. The general public, the mass public, has known that they're frauds, right? And we're continually leaning on their models and their guidelines, etc. Man, it's meant to fire you up. It's meant to do that. That's what it talks about in that plan. Everything is going according to plan. They projected this just like Event 201, research Event 201. Family, if you don't know what that is, Event 201 was the exact model of what's going on with this pandemic right now. And it was played out at Johns Hopkins University just a couple of months before the pandemic broke. And so this is all staged, family. And if you do the right research, you'll start to understand why it's being staged. And a lot of these things that are going on with the bioweaponry that's being released, the nanotech that's being used on the public. It's amazing the way that we here in America shout about these third world countries and how it's wrong, the genocide that's going on over there, the experimentation on people. And it is, family, it is, but we don't understand that that's going on right here in America. It's research Operation Paperclip, family. Research the fact that the Third Reich, all of their scientists, they were given deals, baby. They were given deals if they brought all of that shit over here, then they got new lives. And so again, research these things. And so when you start seeing the masses going in a certain direction, then you have to question yourself, because we know, family, we know. What do we know? Wide is the gate to destruction, right? And many are the way that follow it, but narrow is the path that leadeth to everlasting life, and few find its way. And so, family, I'm here to try and help guide you onto that path. To not even guide you, I'm showing you where I'm going, because that's where the Creator's leading me. And even yesterday, man, I was telling my wifey, I'm not going to make a sign. I'm not going to really get too emotional about the things that are going on. I'm gonna go down and I'm just gonna get footage. And I might still, but I don't know, because that collective energy can really affect one's energy and one's spirit, one's chi. And no, family, I ain't trying to have that. The world is already heavy enough. The spirit is already heavy enough with all of the things going on in the world. And so we got to move away from all of the fear porn, and we got to start realizing, hey, this right here, what's going on, is exactly to spark the awakening of humanity into that consciousness of the power that we have individually and collectively, that we wouldn't have to rely on a government. You know, all of these things that are being made to seem evil. And I'm not saying like get chipped and fall in line, because that shit is not the way to go. That's disempowering. That's you giving your power to an authority over you that, you know what, family, we're not meant to have that authority over us. We have the Spirit of God in us. And so we're not here to beg these or demand that these authorities, really, what are they? They're supposed to be public servants, right? And we've put them in the place of authority. We've allowed them to rise up into that place of control. Why? Because humanity wants a king, because people want to be ruled. I'm gonna hop out here because I see a couple of good comments and I want to throw up on the screen. But these things manifest, family. I was just really wondering when Colorado was going to jump on this, and then not last night, but night before last, Friday night, man, I'm like in a state of, I'm in an emotional state, right? I'm like frustrated with all the shit that's going on in the world. Even have a little bit of like doubt, like what's going on. Sometimes the ones that seem the strongest and have it all together, can often question what's really going on, and so in that, I'm angry about what's really going on, what's really the agenda, why is it playing out the way it is. And I come across this article. Protests to open businesses in the economy begin 1 p.m. on Sunday. Hold on, family. My dogs. I apologize about that. They get funky around treats. My pup is new. My Malamute is new. And my boy, he's a grumpy old boy. He's like 12 or 13. And he gets really grumpy about his snacks in his area. And so forgive me, family. But yeah, so it says expect a lot of people to show up in Denver And if you saw coverage of the protests in other states such as Michigan, they might pale in comparison to the protests in Colorado. And so there's 3 protests going on today. 3 protests going on today, and that's what I threw up on. Let me come over here because I don't have the picture. Actually, you know what? I think I might. Yeah. So there's the 3 protests going on today. That was crazy. I know, he's old, she's a pup. They're both crazy. So, there's these 3 protests going on today. This one, Coloradans Against Involuntary Lockdowns, and I think that was put together by Reopen Colorado. I'm not sure. I know that it's being shared a lot on Reopen Colorado, a private group in Colorado. And then there's Operation Gridlock starting at the same time, 1 p.m. At the state capitol here in Denver. And then the Open Colorado protest at Capitol Hill starting at 2 from 2 to 4. And so I believe this one's 1 to 4, this one's 1 to 2, 2 to 4. And so they all kind of overlap, and they're supposed to be pretty big, family. They're supposed to be pretty big. And I was just like excited. I'm like, I'm going to head down there. I'm going to be a part of it. And then immediately I was like, wait a second. This is exactly what I was talking about in my live, because this is the same night. I believe it was the same day that I did the live about the solutions for tech and ID. And so, yeah, it was the day that I did the show about this Rockefeller paper. And so when I started realizing, okay, well, if this is all going according to plan, then really what's up with the protests? Why, what are the purposes that they would want to drive people to protest? And then it all started making sense. This is exactly what they want, so they can tighten the reins, so they can put the smack down, baby, so they can start using some of these weapons. And I'm going to throw that up. Let me see. I did see a couple of good comments, and so Ann Foster is right. Be a passerby, family. Again, even if you want to go down there and make your voice heard, I think honestly what that is going to, I'll just cut to the end of the show. All of this is heading towards a feeding of Loosh. This is all a sacrificial ritual. And this is about not only the sacrifice of energy, but if things get violent, then it will be a blood sacrifice as well. And my brother Shane, again, man, I need to have you on the show, brother. I need to bring you on. I need to send you an invite so that we could just chop it up together on these topics, because he made a very good point that on a post that I did on Facebook that I'm going to actually pull this up and just share the screen with you guys. Let me get it up on the screen before I pull up the screen. And but it's a post. This is exactly where things are going. I'm not going to make this a 3-hour show, family. I'm going to cut to the chase. This is a satanic ritual. This is a ritual that's being perpetrated that is going to burn a lot of people. And it's going to sear a lot of people's minds. It's going to sear a lot of people emotionally. And it's going to cause a lot of damage, especially in your children, family. And so let me pop up the screen share. I'm just going to throw this up as well. THC resonates, Shane, bringing the knowledge. THC resonates at 30 hertz. It's above most mind control frequencies associated with lower vibrational negative behaviors. And so speaking about that, I think I have a lighter right here. Vibe high, family. Vibe above these things. And so, yeah, that's another thing that we talked about, Shane. My brother, Freedom Grower, and I talked about the GMOs and the way that they put the mess with the genetics, and it really affects the it affects you. It affects you in a lot of crazy ways, and so that's why you see a lot of people on commercial weed being affected emotionally the way that they are. It can really cause a lot of swings, and so this is the gist of it, family. 13 days of preparation. Occult significance of April 19th. Gee, what day is it? What's the date today? April 19th. April 19th is the first day of the 13th day satanic ritual relating to fire, the fire god, Baal, or Molech / Nimrod, the sun god, also known as the Roman god Saturn, Satan, or devil, and or Chronos, time. This day is a major human sacrifice day, demanding fire sacrifice with an emphasis on children. This day is one of the most important human sacrifice days, and as such has had some very important historic events occur on this day. And so my brother and I were chopping it up right before the show regarding this, and so yeah, he made a good point. I think burning the protesters' skin with acoustic weapons falls right into this description. Exactly. I replied, yes, sir. Okay, that's doing the live. The mind's eye can be affected by these weapons if one is in the right or wrong emotional state or mindset. And he went on to comment, from my understanding of MK Ultra and Operation Midnight Climax, Operation Midnight Climax files, all of the frequencies for emotions are cataloged and can be used wirelessly in many ways to target us. And that's spot on. That's exactly why I got as fired up as I did when this person came on here saying that I was some beta male. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't telling y'all not to protest. Go protest. But just, I'm trying to make you aware of what you might run into out there in those protests. What might happen to you, family. And so I just want to point you guys in this direction. The weapons that we're talking about, I have in a video. Tons and tons and tons of patents. Over 30 patents for these silent weapons. For the warfare that's being... Let me see. It's right there. So go look for this one. I'll try and put a link up, family. If I remember, I'll try to remember to put the link up. But this one here is a reality you've come to believe your own. Could there really be a mass mind control agenda? And so with this one, I go over... for it to play. Let me see if I have the number of patents in here in the description. I don't, but I know it's over 30 patents for this mind control weapons that they're using against people that I think will be actually used this weekend, starting popping off this ritual. And so we have to be aware that these emotions, and again, in this video, I go deep into detail about the way that they can catalog the frequencies, the resonant frequencies of your emotions and your thoughts via these low frequency weapons. And they can transmit them back to a server where it's all uploaded they can transmit it back to a server where it's all uploaded. And it's all uploaded and then ran against algorithms. And so I mentioned this in the last show I did. It's like the Minority Report, family. Are you okay with living in the Minority Report where they're policing your thoughts and your emotions? Like literally watching every single thought. And just for those of you who aren't aware, that's already happening. That's happening in the spiritual realm. Everything is cataloged. Everything is imprinted. Everything is remembered. There's a record of everything. Let me see. I know I haven't been active in the chat, man. I apologize, guys. See, more people jumped in. And so let me just take a quick look. Oh, Josh asks, what frequency does heavy metal hit at? It's really, man, it's one of those things where it's not about the genre of music. It's about the music itself. It's about the way that it was tuned, and not only about the way that it was tuned, but a lot of mainstream music is actually has rituals done over the tracks. And so a lot of times the music, not only the lyrics, but the music as well is channeled from an entity, from what we would call a demon, right? But really, what this is it's a negative electromagnetic force that drives one to be self-driven, right? To only look out for oneself, to be an opportunist. And so when you channel these things, that's why you got to be careful about opening yourself up to those things. It's very easy. That's the way that we've been raised and indoctrinated. That's what human beings do, is they unknowingly open themselves up to mind programming when they watch Tell a Lie to Your Vision, when they watch television, when they watch programming. That's exactly what it is. It's programming. And so when you are programmed to receive, isn't that what it says in Hotel California? We are programmed to receive. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. And so these thought forms are shaped. They're first inserted subconsciously via these weapons. Your screens, your computer screen, your phone screen, your tablet, your television. So they can emit frequencies, not only that go beyond the visible spectrum that you can actually discern with your vision, but your eyes and your mind still receive it, but also through sounds that aren't discernible with the ear. And now many of these sounds are being discerned with the ear, now that these frequencies are rising here on Earth. The Schumann resonance just keeps spiking. And I had one sister tell me when I said, the earth is healing when the Schumann spiked. Well, no, the earth is screaming. Well, in pain. Well, here's the thing. The earth is screaming in pain because of her children. But we're looking at it like death when really it's birth, family. It's birth. It's the birth pangs, right? That's why the earth is screaming, because we're about to come out of the womb into a new creation. And part of that is waking up to the manipulative tactics of this regime that has put these things out. I used to listen to a lot of heavy metal, and when you listen to some of the specific lyrics, I think that there's a lot of shit that's being revealed and disclosed in metal. You listen to some Tool songs, man. I've never been a really big Tool fan, but I've listened to some Tool songs recently, and they're literally disclosing what their plans are in this music. And so you can find all of these things if you know what to look for. And symbology is really one thing that I'd encourage you guys to start researching, because the symbols that come through the TV that your mind receives without even knowing what the implications are, because these symbols are actually a spiritual language that when your mind receives it, then it acts on these things. It's sacred geometry, family. It's a science. It's a type of sorcery, so to speak. That's what's being, put on the people right now. Is sorcery. We're under sorcery, and it goes back to the MK Ultra mind control type of sorcery. They traumatize you, family. And what's going on with the world right now? The world is traumatized with all of this fear propagation and control tactics. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And so this is really where I wanted to go with it. This wasn't going to be a 4-hour video. I just wanted to talk about these protests, man. What are you doing? What are you going out there for? Are you going out there because of the mighty dollar? Because you don't think that God is going to provide for you? That you want the government to provide? You want, and I know, family. I'm a small business owner. I own several small businesses. I own a construction company that I haven't been able to operate since I got sick. Okay, months ago. And so I have this way of understanding that the Creator has put us in positions to prepare us for this time right now. And so months ago, it started over a decade ago. We were having a sacrifice and things were going bad with business, and we were having to, take care of family, and it's been one thing after another over the past decade, right? But just recently, getting sick, not being able to work, not being able to really be out of the house a lot because of the condition of my health, and getting healthy in this time now that everybody's scared of getting sick. It was preparation for what was coming. And so you have to understand that you're going to be provided for. You're going to be provided for. Yes, Regina, it is sigil magic. It is sigil magic. And that's even, it's in the church. The cross is, when it's folded up, it becomes the cube. The cube that, again, I can't remember the exact term for it, but it's the cube that the rabbis, that the Jewish leaders have on their head when they pray. It's the same cube of Islam. It's the cube of Saturn. And, there's a lot of talk about a cube being out by the sun, being spotted by the sun, and with all of this cosmic moving. And so Josh, I didn't know it was that Josh. All right, now I got it. Now I know who you are, brother. Josh Garcia. This is my brother. And we did. I should throw that up. Maybe I should throw that up just to show family. This was all. I'm gonna look that up actually, because that's crazy. Dr. Creep. What is the name of the song? What's up? Open that window, please. But this Dr. Creep song, man, was made in 2014. Do you remember the name of the song, Josh? Let me just do this. And he straight up says, coronavirus, body stacking. Pandemic.
That's how it happened. 2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking.
The world is now at the start of the influenza pandemic. It started as
This isn't even
in the street outside.
All right, here, let me pop the screen share on, family. Nope. Dude, can you come plug this in for me? I'm sorry.
No.
That one. Sorry, guys. Let me get my screen share back up. I don't know where it went. See if this one's got the lyrics. I don't know if this one's got the lyrics.
They always start with a kind of storm, like a real powerful storm. And there's always this dark, thick rain, like fresh motor oil. Storm started, something happened. His face, his eyes were different.
By the time they tried to evacuate the cities, it was already too late. The infection was everywhere.
The harvest is harvesting. What evening 873 begin after the lab of the first war with vaccines. Millions died in the first week of the pandemic dreams. We are the deep black death, smallpox mutated disease. Flu shot propaganda for one population. The troops avoid the plague. It might have sneaked into the room. That's now we're born. The five storms signal our doom. The death returns with the pissed off zombie moves. The sprinkler system equipped with AUAG. With the round of survivors in the cold facility. Watch the process of terror from the hill near the stream. I'll remain in the gas mask. I still filter my water clean. This isn't past tense on the plague of bad things couldn't be eradicated like smallpox in action. Avian influenza when the jet stream is how it happens. 2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking.
The world is now at the start of the influenza pandemic. It started as writing. It was in a street outside. It's coming to your window. Sequence the virus. It was a virus. Something in the blood.
A virus which has been engineered at genetic level to be helpful rather than harmful.
So let's pop back out and look at the lyrics. So this is pandemic lyrics right here. And so you make a decision. They always start with a kind of storm, a powerful storm, and there's always this dark, thick rain like fresh motor oil. The storm started and something happened. His face, his eyes were different. By the time they tried to evacuate the city, it was already too late. The infection is everywhere. So Dr. Creep, can she not do that right now? Oh, is that the blender? I thought it was the vacuum. Go ahead, blend away, baby. Smoothies are worth it. I thought it was the vacuum going. I'm like, hey, I'll vacuum later. But and so Creep says the virus. Oh, sorry, Mr. Creep, Dr. Creep, whatever the hell his name is, the creepy dude. This virus is harvesting Dr. Creep. What do you mean, 87N3? Begin life in a lab in the first wars of vaccines. Million die in the first week in the pandemic dreams. Reality, Black Death, smallpox, mutated disease, flu shot propaganda for all population and troops. Avoid the plague. It might have seeped into the room. It's now airborne with firestorm. Signal our doom. The dead returns with the pissed off zombie mood. The sprinkler system equipped with AUAG, where they round up survivors in a cold facility. Watch a process of terror from the hill near the stream. I remain in a gas mask. I still filter my water clean. This isn't past tense or the plague of Athens. Couldn't be eradicated like smallpox in action. Avian influenza is in the jet stream is how it happens. 2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking. Right. The world is now at the site of an influenza pandemic. The state is rioting. What do they want you to do with these fucking protests, man? They want you to riot. They want to drive you to riot. And so this is all part of the plan, just like that Rocca family paperwork that I showed. That it was disclosed. It's been being disclosed over the past couple of decades. You know what I'm saying? But this plan has been in place for not just hundreds of years, but this is a very patient and long drawn out plan. And it goes back generations, thousands of years. Family, this is how control has been kept, by keeping people in fear and controlling their minds, getting you to riot because they've taken your toys away. Nobody's taking your right. Go out, walk around. Go out to the hills. If somebody tries to tell you something, know your rights. Know what you can do. Know what to say. Don't just go out there and, that doesn't get anybody anywhere. Be level-headed. Remain calm. Don't have a spirit of fear and anxiety, because that's what's driving these protests right now, is the spirit of fear, anger, and anxiety, family. And don't try to tell me that it's not, because I know it is. I know it is. And if you search your heart, you know deep inside, that's what's driving it. That's good, baby. Thank you. And so, sequence the virus and determine its origin. It was a virus, something in the blood. A virus which should be engineered at a genetic level to be helpful rather than harmful. So, oh man, look at that. We're talking about burning, right, Shane? We're talking about burning, right, Shane? This is sick, like disease, and can't be cured. Few that remain, that became stained with the bloodshed when the smoke screen fades. Death, disease. You feel a burning sensation. Nothing remains. Just throw that out there, you know. Talking about this right here. Relating to fire, the fire god. Major human sacrifice, demanding fire sacrifice. And we talked about the way that these weapons can be used to burn not only your skin, but it can burn from the inside out, family. These weapons can burn your mind. They can sear your mind. They can sear your heart. They can cause problems in your organs and literally fry your neurological system. Look at the allegorical aspect of the burning, of the fire sacrifice. It can fry or burn your neurological system, family. That's literally where this is headed. This technology can burn your neurological system. And so let's come back over here. The lyrics. You have to act fast. Grab your gas mask. Bad disaster is past. Anarchy, cataclysm. Stand guard, please. Blast your guns. Havoc's begun. Viral outbreak. Tragic things done. Crowds renounce faith. Atrocious horror witness. Broke the hopes of optimistic. Scope is a post-apocalyptic. Lone is harsh and vicious. Gross and darker. Throwing darts. Blow apart the wicked. Foes know I'm sadistic. Cold my aura is sick. Soldiers start resistance. Enemy troops in NBC suits. The enemy troops in NBC suits. Family, the media is searing your mind. The media is burning this shit into your mind, into your subconscious. And so again, my brother Josh Garcia had shared this, and I had shared it on Facebook just about a week before, and I didn't even know it was the same song. So he shared it, and I was like, hey, check out this post I did. And he's like, hey, man, that's the same song. And so I had to go in and re-listen to it. And, because I just caught the first parts of the first verse when I had posted it. That's all I kind of focused on was the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But there's so much more in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, lone is harsh and vicious, gross and darker. Throwing darts, blow apart the wicked. So lone is hard. So again, so you're being forced into social isolation, to be alone, right? Do not forsake the gathering of the body as some do. There's a reason for this social distancing. 6 feet, isn't that how deep they dig a grave? 6 feet, they put you 6 feet under, right? I mean, there's all of the logical things, like it is easier for facial recognition cameras to map you out. I think there's another agenda physically behind the masks, that they'd be able to target people and say, look, this person was masked, he was an extremist or a terrorist. I refuse to wear a mask. There's a lot of other physiological effects that the mask has, because you're breathing in the germs that your body is shedding, and the carbon dioxide, all of that stuff. It can cause hypoxia. Like, improper use of masks can cause irreversible mental damage, neurological damage as well, because that's what drives your neurological system, is the oxygen intake. And so Chroma says it's interesting to see how everyone is processing this new situation we're facing. It feels like we're stages of grief with some still in denial or anger phase. May they be satisfied, then go back home. I agree. It's a learning experience, and we're all here to learn and grow. And so that's my piece of this puzzle, is to just be a mouthpiece, to connect with as many people as I can, from any background, any culture, any mindset. You know, I just have an ability to be able to do that. And so I'm not for everybody. I'm not, but I can definitely connect with anybody. And so if you're willing to hear, you know what I'm saying? And so, and it's not even about me connecting with you. It's about the spirit that connects us all. Somebody had mentioned the Akashic records, you know, and we are all connected through that Akashic field, and we don't have to fear, family. We don't have to fear. Josh, you know, says everything will be okay. And I believe that, brother. I'm right there with you. Everything is going to be okay. We have to just be aware and not be driven and tossed to and fro, man. I talk about that all the time in my videos. And what did I allow to happen to me? Getting tossed to and fro by all of this illusory shit, all of these structures that are crumbling, right? Gotta reopen, gotta do the economy, no, man. That's the shit that's crumbling. The day the dollar dies is going to be a great day. It's going to force people to unite. And there are going to be opportunists that swoop in and do this kind of satanic ritual abuse, this type of MK Ultra mind programming. The opportunists that come in to try and rule over your spirit through this dark sorcery, through this dark chaos magic. That's what's going on. Is it's a chaos magic that's meant to draw you in emotionally and drive you somewhere, because what is emotion? It's energy in motion. And so that energy that you feel regarding these topics, and then you start getting fired up and you start wanting to what? Make things happen. According to what? The mindset of the world, the mob mentality, the wide gate that leadeth to destruction, right? Which many go through, which many follow. Many will take that path. Family, I seen the many taking that path, and I praise God that I did. I do. I praise the Creator that I'm not going to get caught up and driven to further the agenda that was laid out by these families that have been in control for centuries. I'm not. You know their game, family. You don't have to play it. But if you don't know the game, not only are you going to be forced to play it, but you're going to lose, because you don't even know you're playing the fucking game. So let's keep looking at this. Cold, my aura is sick. From what? From being alone, from being isolated, from this isolation. Soldiers start resistant. Enemy troops in NBC suits. The fucking mass media is the one perpetrating this MK Ultra mind control, the seeding of these thought forms, the strengthening of these thought forms, these egregors, these spirits, which we end up making gods, these evil gods that come to destroy us, because that's not how it was supposed to be, family. Conquer the weak with armed fleet, bomb the streets with Dr. Creep. Scientific criteria for an influenza pandemic have been met. You need a doctor to tell you that. The virus is human. Radio stopped broadcasting. There were reports of infection in Paris and New York. The army blockades were overrun. What scientists know about this newer strain decided to raise the level of influenza pandemic alert. Man, even in this verse right here, the scientific criteria for influenza pandemic have been met. That's event 201, baby. What does this pandemic look like? How is it going to play out? Let's do it. Live exercise. You need a doctor to tell you that. All of these pseudoscientists, all of these indoctrinated doctors that are pushing these false, this false garbage, just like Fauci and Birx and the likes. And then you got to consider, I don't know. Let me see if I can get this up real quick, family, because there is a point that was made about the World Health Organization on their conference table, and their mascot is Shiva, right? And then you get Dr. Shiva coming out about the lies that are being told by the WHO and whatnot. And then here, let me just see if I can't find it and pop it up here real quick, family. Just sit tight, family. I love your patience. Thank you for being patient with me. It's just something that I feel I should share. No, I'm not seeing it. Let me see if I have it. Let's see if I have it here. Don't look like I saved it, family. But yeah, it was just making the correlation between the Masonic motto that when the people need a hero, we will provide them with one. And so you have to be aware about the information that's being shared, the information that's being received. And it's just, family, have to be aware all the way around. I thought I had the photo of it. Sorry, family. I'm just looking one more time because it was just such a great correlation in the way that it was broken down. Yep, there it is. Got it. Let me go ahead and pop this up real quick, family.
I was like, I don't see it.
Sorry.
It's okay.
And let me pop this photo up because it'll just really make you think, and that's what I'm here for. I want you to think. I want you to think. And so, is it because she got a snack there?
It might be. She's not eating the none that we gave her. Yeah, see.
She was like,
I don't want your apple. It's okay.
What is Shiva the Destroyer doing at the WHO meeting? This is the mascot of the WHO. Shiva Ayaduri has come out about some of the lies that have been going on. And Albert Pike is quoted as saying, whenever the people need a hero, we shall supply him. And so we have to be aware of what other things are going to come about regarding, I've heard a lot of talk about with Trump rejecting or defunding, rather, the WHO, that he's still for vaccines, family. It's just going to be our own vaccine, not Bill Gates' vaccine. It'll be our own vaccine. You can trust this vaccine. Your government wouldn't lie to you. Your government wouldn't hurt you. Look, we got rid of the bad guys. We got rid of the WHO. We got rid of the of Fauci. We got rid of Gates. It's all good, family. This is a good vaccine. Do you see where this is going? And so that's just something that we have to be aware of. And yes, this is, as much as the exposure of Bill Gates has been taking place, as much exposure of Bill Gates and his agenda has been taking place, people have been ridiculous. Sorry, I got sidetracked. What was I just saying? Sorry, I got sidetracked, family. Gates is being exposed, but we don't see him in a jail suit. We don't see any indictments against him, and we keep hearing about indictments that are going to be rolled out. We keep hearing about indictments, but when is it going to happen, family? When are we going to see some action? People are saying, oh yeah, we're seeing action, but the only action I'm seeing is that healthy elderly people are being moved onto the mercy ship. Why is that? Why are these experimental medications being pushed and touted that hydroxychloroquine has been proven to be, it can really damage the hemoglobin in your blood. And so you have to just really be aware of the things that are going on and the things that are being pushed, the things that can be very damaging to your health. Because all of a sudden this hero came out and said something about this and this new treatment, and it's something that doesn't even have to be approved. It's already been used for many other things. And so let's just use it because, hey, it works. Man, herbs, vegetables, fruits, heal yourself, physician. Use what mama gave you. Use what daddy gave you. Use what the creator of all things gave you. That spirit in you. You will do greater works than these. And I believe that, family. And so I do have some things to say about masks. Again, the symbolism behind the masks is to shut you up, to muzzle you, right? And it's really being pushed by Polis right now. And so, yes, Josh, we need the immune system is it's not even what we've been taught, brother. And so we have to be aware as well what that means and what that looks like, because really a lot of the sickness that happens, our body is just trying to flush out something that shouldn't be there. And a lot of times it's something that we put there, whether it's through taking big pharma meds or the shit that we eat, the processed sugary foods, fast food, stuff like that. And so I appreciate you, Randy. Thank you, brother. I don't know how long ago you said that, but thank you for catching what you did. And I just encourage you guys to be aware and to share the content, whether on YouTube, on Facebook, share it on all of your platforms. Get this information out there. People need to be aware. And again, if you want to go further in detail, look, I'll just do this right now because I know I won't remember. I've got a lot of things that I got to go back and rewatch my own videos and drop in links where I said, I'll drop a link to this video, I'll drop a link to this article. And I didn't. I was really good about it for a few videos, and then I just jump right back into research or try and not do any of the shit for a little while so that I can just chill with my family, listen to some music, go sit. I love it when it's nice. We sit outside and ground as a family and just sit. Even if nobody's talking, we just sit and take in the sun. Just have a little bit of time, just feeling and being present. And that's important, family. And so I am going to jump over here real quick and get over back to that video with all of the patents, because I think I'd encourage you, as soon as this video is over, go watch that, man. Forgive me because it's an old video. I don't know. I really don't give a shit. I'm not very articulate. So if you're looking for a science whiz, I don't know. So I think sometimes when I get into the details of the quantum physics and the other aspects of these spirit/science, the way it all correlates and the way that the spiritual actually can be proven scientifically, I tend to lose a lot of people. And so I also try not to get too deep into the logistics of that stuff. Let me see, how do I know what I do. It's going to start playing, so just deal with the sound. Just going to get over here and get this link and drop it in there for you. Maybe I'll download it and do a watch party on Facebook with this, because it is really, in fact, I'll just share the video to Facebook. But I am going to come in here and I will drop the link. I'm dropping it in the YouTube. Link to the EMF weapons patents video is in the YouTube. Description now. And I will drop it into the Facebook description now before I even end the live, just so it's there for y'all. Oops. Let me see. All right, right there. And done. And so, family, I'm going to go because I want to enjoy a little bit of this nice, beautiful day. I got neighbors out that are just out in the neighborhood enjoying the day. I'm not going to stress these freaking protests. I'm not going to do it, family. I'm not telling you shouldn't protest. I'm not telling you what to do. I think that it's great that people are speaking up, that people are opening their minds to the realization that there really is a tyrannical oversight and they're overreaching. Thank you, Regina. I really appreciate that. It's what I'm called to do, and so I'm going to continue to do that. I appreciate you giving ear and being willing to hear that which is being given out. And so I'm always going to give those keys, family. Again, I'm not for everybody. And again, I'm also not saying to just lay down and allow the agenda to steamroll you, but don't allow people to drive you into furthering their agenda, family, because that's what's happening today with these protests. Is people are being driven into furthering this agenda that's already going full steam ahead, family, and the masses are being driven literally like sheep, like in a cattle drive. They're being driven like cattle, and in this direction, in that direction. Stay home, get fired up, go over here, protest, and a lot of people are going to be burned today. Maybe not by a physical fire, but by these weapons that have been being installed for a long time, and they're already on a lot of the vehicles, and a lot of the military and law enforcement personnel already have access to a lot of these things. And so family, be wise. If you're out and you just get a sense that I need to get out of here, then listen to that. If you really feel driven to go out and protest, then I would encourage you to be aware the entire time. Be aware and be centered in the heart, and be at peace to know that everything is happening the way that it should be. Everything is unfolding the way that it should be, and that there's no weapon formed against you that can prosper, and nothing that can separate you from the love of the Creator. That love of the Creator is what drives you and what sustains this family. And so there's nothing that can shake us or move us. And don't be shaken, and don't be moved by these things. Don't allow somebody to dictate that you're going to go into this crowd and get whipped up into this mind mentality, this hive mind, and possibly be hurt permanently, man. Again, these things can fry your neurological system, and you can end up being a freaking vegetable. And if you think it's fake, I dropped the links in there. Look at all of the different patents. They can sexually excite people. They can burn your area down there. They can make you feel like you're burning inside. And literally, they can burn the cells, fry the cells in your body. And so with this whole ritual, again, I'll throw it up one more time before I sign off, family. I'll pop that picture back up. April 19th through May 1st. 13 days of preparation. And this is the first day of that 13 days, family. And I don't even want to start going into the significance of the number 13 because that can be a multi-series, a multi-show series in and of itself. And so just remember that very, very important historic events occurred on this day. And you want to be aware of what agenda you're helping further and the variables that carries, family. There's a ton of variables that come along with this protest and with all of these things that are happening. And so just be aware. Hi, Theodora. I'm signing off. Yes, definitely. And Shane, that's a great point. Family, I do want to, I've just been being led to do some more, some gathering, family, because it is time to unite and do some spiritual work. It's past that time, right? We've all been doing this inner work. We've all been doing this healing. We've all been doing this fighting. We've all been doing this grinding. We've all been doing it, family. But now it's time for those of us who are conscious to these agendas to link up and to share our knowledge with one another and to share our desires in our heart. Like, not even like, see, I think that there's this great, just a great danger being open with the wrong people. Being a pastor in the church and seeing the way that people can be manipulated, you just really have to be careful who you're doing that with. And so it's important to link up with people with the right kind of energy, with that same kind of energy, that pure energy that's from the Creator, that you can sense, family. Those who hear the voice of Christ hear it very clearly in one another. And so maybe it's time to start doing some Zooms, some meditation, some guided meditations. I've really been feeling led to lead some guided meditations, and just to share in the more of the spiritual aspects of what we can do to gain a foothold in this spiritual battle, because that's really what it is. It's a spiritual battle that's unfolding and manifesting here. And so find the tribe with your vibe, Shane says, and that's what it's all about, family. It doesn't matter what background you're from. It doesn't matter age. I mean, on Facebook and even here on YouTube, I've got people in my analytics of people of all ages, of all backgrounds. And so again, drop the judgment, family. Learn how to receive from one another. Iron sharpens iron, and we have to be aware of these things, family. And so I just started a Discord. I don't know how Discord works. And so there is a Walk in Wisdom channel on Discord. I don't know how to invite people. I can drop the number. I know that there's a little number, station number, channel number, chat number. I don't know what it is. I know that there's video and voice only. But I do think that especially on a more private server like that, it's important for people to start linking up. And I am going to be looking into starting a website as well that can be on a very secure server with private APNs, where we can communicate, family, and feel safe. And if anything happens with the net or power, there are ways that we can stay in communication. I know that there are softwares that work like shortwave radios, like push to talk type things that you don't need internet for. And so I want to start exploring some of those things that people can remain in communication even if those things are taken from us. That way we know how to help one another, and that way we know how to stand with one another and show the tyrannical leaders that we don't have, if we don't consent, if we know our rights. There's this whole thing with legalese, the Holy See, and the way that all of these constitutional lies have been put in place. And so study up on legalese, get you a Black's Law dictionary, and start looking into the maritime law and the Holy See. And that's where our power lies, family. It's a spiritual power, because they're trying to take a spiritual and control over people through the minds and the hearts of people, of humanity. And so be aware, family. Be aware, be aware, be aware at all times. Take every thought captive. We weren't given a spirit of fear, so don't fear. That's what so much of this, man, even in my drive and my passion and my anger to try and get something done, you know what I'm saying? And really, thinking I'm going to go down and protest as well. Hey, John, I love you, bud. I'm glad you can jump on, man. I'm glad that you could comment, brother. I miss you. We got to link up soon. But we gotta be empowered, family. We gotta take our power back. It's still a disempowered mindset. If you're going out with this mob mentality, this hive mind mentality of, oh my God, everybody, they're gonna take control. They're in control. They're gonna. Hey, man, no. The 99 against the 1 is the one with the power. And so don't be disempowered going out there. Government mind control, John says. I don't know why I'm not getting comments on I'm not getting any of my YouTube, any of my Facebook comments on my StreamYard. I would love to put that up. John Keane says government mind control. That's what government is, mind control. We talked about that. Family ment is from mental, menta. And so that's your mind, and govern is to control. And so that's where they control you, family, in your mind. Free your mind and stand up and take your power back. You're sovereign, you're powerful, and you're loved. And don't forget that. Don't forget that. I love you, John. Thank you, man. Thank you. That's I really, dude, I haven't had a chance to watch some of your recent stuff, but I know you've been putting out some stuff, so I'm gonna go check it out. And I do definitely want to do a show really soon regarding, you have so much wisdom regarding the stuff that's going on in the cosmos with this planetary system moving in. And so I know there's been a lot of new things uncovered with that. And so, dude, I'd love to get you on my channel. I know you've got a much wider reach, but I'd love to get you on, not just here, but since I'm streaming on multiple platforms now, I've got a pretty big reach on YouTube, on Facebook as well. And so I'd love my Facebook friends to be able to get a taste of what you put out. That way they can go and check out your channel. And so again, family, go check out Best Damn Podcast. Some would look at it as fear porn. But John always throws some the spiritual aspects of being grounded and not giving up your power, just the same as I do. He focuses a lot on the deeper things that are going on in the government, and that's why people look at it as fear porn. Is and not everybody, but there are people that are wanting you to shut your mind off to how these things are playing out and just be on this kind of spiritual plane where you're shutting everything off around you. And I think that that's dangerous. And I think that we have to be aware. Yeah, Shane, the 2012 is the year, according to the Enochian calendar, that Ethiopia still keeps. And so we are seeing this transition happening now. And they're trying to, he's actually on the Facebook chat, Karen. Usually I'm able to throw comments up from both on my StreamYard, but I'm not able to for some reason. And so that's why you're not seeing him in the YouTube chat. He's on the Facebook chat. But Karen Wager says hi. So says hi, John. And so, but family, I'm gonna cut out. I love you. Be aware of these things that are going on. Be aware. Don't let anybody drive you emotionally into a place that you know is not where the Creator wants you. And I know that my Creator doesn't want me out protesting these things. There's a greater work to be done right now. And I think that we need to hit them where they're trying to hit us. They're taking away your toys. They're saying that you can't go here, you can't go there. They can't control your body. You go where you want. You do control their money, though. Hit them where it hurts. They want the economy crash the economy. Don't spend. Don't buy at these big shops, man. Go and barter with people that have farms, people that have skills. Man, I got a ton of skills that I'd rather barter my skills and receive from somebody else that needs my skills, that needs my help, that needs my wisdom, my knowledge, my physical abilities, whatever it is. I'd rather somebody profit off of that and me receive something from them, food, a camper, materials, building materials, whatever it might be, man. We got to get back to a trade and barter system and not rely on these big corporate conglomerates that are literally running everything, including the media that's driving people to go and do these freaking protests, man. And so, family, I know that we had a lot of y'all in the chat, Shoshana Rose, one of my moderators, Freedom Fighter, Jamie, I love you, buddy. Blessings are just affirmations of health and wellness to your family, bro. Josh Garcia, Shane, Karen, Ann Foster. Yeah, quite a few of you in there. I appreciate all your input. Again, John Keene, Fly G-Man was watching, Lacey was watching, Regina was watching on Facebook, Randy Drum. That brother just puts out truth like no other on Facebook. So if you, I don't know if he can even have, if he's already at that 5,000 friend limit, but go follow him. Randy Drum will put out those. He puts out a lot of the truths regarding our legal sovereignty here in this realm. And so look for that, family. Look for that, because there's also spiritual encouragements on his page. And I'm really encouraged by you, Randy. I appreciate the work that you do, brother. And I just thank you. Continue on being a soldier, man, for that which is right, moral, and ethical. We are sovereign and we are free, family. And so stand on that sovereignty, stand on that freedom, and understand when we're disempowered, it's because we're giving up our power, family. And so take that power back. Love and be loved. That's the greatest commandments, right? Love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Love God, love yourself because God is in you, and love your neighbor as yourself because that earthen vessel houses the same spirit that sustains you, drives you, and that is eternal love. And so be love, family, and love truth. Stand on it. Wholeness and balance.